In terms of risk, it happens. Like, it's everywhere. It could be the fact that, um, for example, you must have seen some of those recent ones, deep fakes,
Yeah.
those kind of things coming in. Those are the real threats. Imagine just a day before elections, a politician's deep fake comes where he's admitting to some illegal activities or something. That by the time you do the correction, it'll be too late,
Mm.
right? So those are real threats. There's definitely going to be some ethics, governance, regulations around it,
Mm.
and that is needed too.
Mm. Yeah. And for example, you gave the example of medical practice. I think there still has to be at any given point some sort of human interaction there. For example, you talked about preventative healthcare, but every so often that doesn't work out. And for example, you're diagnosing a patient with cancer. AI doing that might be a bit cold, you know. So I think in some instances, human involvement will always be there to some extent. So I don't think everyone's going to lose their jobs. I think the bottom 10, 20% may actually, you know, end up losing their jobs because they can easily be replaced with AI. But I think the top performers in every industry will always continue to strive even with AI.
Absolutely. AI cannot, at least for now, replace empathy.
Mm.
So human empathy is the most important element of any industry, and that will remain. At the same time, can we fully rely on the AI? Maybe not.
Mm.
You would always need some sort of a human um, player to kind of do the final checks and
Mm-hmm.
balances before, imagine a wrong diagnosis, the patient can die, right? So there, I believe that at least for now, we haven't created any systems that can replace human behavior in terms of empathy, taking the right decisions, and that should remain.
I mean, it's all great until AI is fact checking AI, and then that AI is also being fact checked. I mean, that's probably the
Yeah,
future at some point. But
yeah.
yeah, and that's interesting. So, continuing from the topic of AI that we had earlier discussed and how it might take jobs, on the contrary, how do you think us as young people and generally people can take advantage of AI and convert it into startups or business opportunities?
You have to look at problems around you. It could be as simple as, um, how to make pizza not soggy when you put it in the microwave, to a complicated problem like, um, can I read the medical reports that I see on a regular basis better, and how can I do it? AI is definitely going to help you there. Consider, let's say, OpenAI or ChatGPT as one of your co-founders. It can help you sort of guide you in the right way.
Hmm.
But then again, it is about what you're most passionate about. Because what ends up happening is typically when you know your whys better, uh, you would be able to sail through your failures and be able to come up with something that can help you sail through those kind of times and still continue on your path to create the solution that you wanted.
That's interesting. And again, I think earlier we spoke about ethics and AI. How does, having AI startups and businesses, what ethical kind of effects is the wrong word, but what ethical, connotations might it have on business as a whole?
Yeah. I think there are three, four things that everyone looks at. Was one of that is bias reduction. How do you make sure that the you know whatever you are trying to create does not have a bias? So having diverse set of data is important. If you try to, because it's ultimately about the set of data that you're feeding your AI, right? If you try to feed the data which is very biased in one way, then your solutions are not going to be perfect. So bias reduction is very important in terms of diversifying the set of data that you are providing, having a robust security around the data so that it is not hacked,